Leading a private tertiary medical facility in Malaysia, Sunway Medical Centre is dedicated to providing top-notch healthcare. A wide variety of medical services are provided by the hospital, including buildings and cutting-edge technology for outpatient and inpatient specialty treatment, health and wellness program, and round-the-clock emergency services. There are currently 3 Sunway Medical Centre located in Peninsular Malaysia, which is in Bandar Sunway in Selangor, Sunway Velocity in Kuala Lumpur, and the newest one in Seberang Perai in Penang. In Bandar Sunway, Selangor Darul Ihsan, it is the hospital's administrative headquarters. Additionally, Sunway Medical Centre has a few specialist centres in Maisarah, Selangor, and Kuching, Sarawak. There are 1,001 to 5,000 workers at the business. However, in main branch for procurement department, there are only 17 staff, consist of 14 permanent staff and 3 of them were contract staff. To get further information related to procurement process in Sunway Medical Centre, we have interviewed one of the staff for procurement department named Puan Maisarah Binti Surai. She is 47 years old. She has working experience for 26 years in procurement field. She worked 18 years in a multi-industrial, for example, construction, machinery, theme park and hospitality. Another 8 years is current job in healthcare line as senior strategic sourcing and procurement executive in Sunway Medical Centre at main branch.
Assalamualaikum, my name is ARIF DANISH. I'm going to talk about the company's problem. So firstly, ordering a certain product but receive another kind of product. This is mainly caused by the supplier itself. So next is customer urgently request for a product. So if a customer requests a product, the company's attention will be to ask the supplier if the product is available or not. So next is requisition deal competition among suppliers. So among the suppliers, there will be a current and potential and new supplier. So this is dealing with a standard of supplier and following how does the company want the supplier to supply them. So next is negotiating with supplier in bidding price. So from example, there are 3 suppliers that want to supply to Sunway Medical Centre. They must follow step by step onto the standard of the company in bidding on the product itself that they supply to the company.
Procurement policies and strategies. Your procurement policy describes the broad concepts and criteria that will be utilized to guide and influence decisions. It directs issues that impact under a certain set of conditions only within framework of senior management's objective and goals, which indicate that any purchase of a specific dollar figure should always be adequately sought either via an itemized invoice or solicitation for proposal. The policy is presented as a prescription to follow, not as a prescription on how to conduct a competitive bid. That's where the process comes in. Procurement process normally after they receive ordering or request from the user, we start the planning, meaning that to identify which supplier we need to contact. So from there, we call or email or even WhatsApp to identify which supplier. They negotiate with the supplier based on pricing of the items. After they confirm the selecting of the vendor, they placing an order and arrange delivery of the vendor. After that, they just follow up on the delivery and then they receive the item to get the store site inspection whether the item is correct. After confirming everything on the system, now they process invoice to the finance. Based on the interviewee say that the department had the procurement process is more on the product that they supply, pricing of the service and win-win situation, meaning that they get product in good quality, pricing and user requirement. On the vendor side, they able to supply a range of the standards. Sunway Group itself is promoting environmental sustainability. They are going go green, like reducing a paper waste, more on the recycling, choose environmentally friendly packaging labeling, and this method has already been applied to Sunway Group. To add more outlet, they already grow in more of the specialist center and the hospital will become one of the top private hospitals in Malaysia. As the hospital will be expanded, they will receive more staff requirement. Next, procedure of procurement. The procurement procedures outline the wisdom of putting your vendor guidelines into practice. They define the sequence of steps that employees will take in a repeatable and predictable strategy or cycle to achieve a specific goal. Mrs. Maisarah said, for the selection of the new selection supplier, which is the vendor, must have item that they request. So from there, they also get other vendors to quote. Besides to compare the price, maybe the vendor can give them other service that they can provide, like which person purchase item. For example, if they purchase 30 units, they can get additional 2 free units, and maybe they can give us a free training, and vendor also can give us after service. That's the more important thing in selecting new vendor. In order to get a new supplier, they need to know the background of the supplier, whether the owner of the product or just only trading company, because if we're talking about the quality item to satisfy both sides in the long term, they need to know the company if they got a quality check or not. Next, for vendor evaluation. The current vendor normally every year they will evaluate vendor based on the service supply, and for the potential vendor, normally they search on the market review how the service. For the new vendor, give a few time, they to supply, so from there we just review it. But review is not only procurement side but also by user. For business requirement with the supplier, they give full information of the product or item that they need to request, and also give vendor enough lead time, so easy for vendor to do the arrangement time. Furthermore, maintain the relationship with the supplier. Sometimes they just call vendor if they had any new product that can supply to Sunway Group with good quotation at the base price. Follow up with the delivery and also help them if they have difficulty to get a payment, arranging meeting with them on call or face to face.
Hi, my name is HAQEEM, and I would like to talk about the technique of the procurement. The technique that used by this company is by vendor stocking system, or more popular as vendor managed inventory. A vendor managed inventory, or known as VMI, entrusts a product supplier, which are typically the manufacturer, with the responsibility of ensuring that a distributor's stock is managed as efficiently as possible. In a nutshell, the Sunway Medical Center just needs to provide information. Then, the vendor will take complete responsibility for producing and maintaining the inventory at the precise location that the Sunway Medical Center has indicated. Moving on to the first advantage of this technique is it can avoid overstocking. One of the biggest benefits of vendor managed inventory system is that you don't need to hoard stock of the products. Usually, retailers will end up stocking products more than required due to the fear of going out of the stock. The second advantage of this technique is it can improve customer satisfaction and loyalty. By far, this is the biggest benefit of vendor managed inventory.
Next is sourcing and supplier evaluation. To evaluate a supplier, the company must know the history of the vendors. So knowing the history of the vendors makes the company sure that is it the vendor just trade a certain product, or it is producing its own product. So next is doing an annual review on the current supplier. So this annual review can make sure that the quality of the product produced or trade by the supplier is maintained at a high level standard. So next is they will conduct a survey on the market review. Basically, if a potential or new supplier wants to supply to the company that is Sunway Medical Center, they will review the company on the market review, whether the service is on point or the supply of product is at the highest quality possible.
Moving on to the social and ethical considerations, by giving the supplier precise details about the product or item that they need to procure from the provider, Sunway Medical Center manage the business requirement of a requisition with the supplier. In addition, they provide the seller with sufficient time. It will be easy for the vendor to make the appropriate preparations for the requested product or item if they are given enough lead time. The helpful nature of the staff at Sunway Medical Center is well known. This is illustrated by the fact that they provide vendors the chance to offer them both the best pricing and also the best quotation. In addition, they will make sure that the delivery is continuously monitored and support the vendor if they are having issues with payment processing. Moreover, they have always had a good friendship and also a good relationship with one another. By arranging to meet the other person, either face to face or over the phone, they will be able to maintain their relationship.
At Sunway Medical Center, they record their expense budget and they do manage it by having two forms of record, which is a system record and hard copy record. Additionally, they provide such a user ordering mechanism that communicates directly with the procurement department. They use a different system for the ordering process than the one that was used for procurement process. Since Sunway Information Technology IT was responsible for developing internet technology system that is used for procurement process. In NURUL, they make use of that system to key in data, starting with user requisition and continuing through the process of purchase order processing, store receiving until the last step, which is the payment procedure. Duplicate records in the system are already prevented from being created thanks to the technological instruments that are utilized. The firm has moved on from using fax machine and obsolete forms of technology. Despite this, they continue to use print scan as well as bar coding. Additionally, coding is used increasingly on department level of the business. Not limit themselves to dealing with a single provider in their working environment. There is no doubt that they use more than one vendor, and the information on each of them may be found in their master files. They often store the information of the vendor in a database.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. I'm Putri NURUL. I'm BINTI KHAIRUL-FITRI, and I'm going to talk about the procurement function process of Sunway Medical Center. Here are the flowchart of the procurement process. Based on this flowchart, the first process is receive request or ordering. This is how ordering starts between the user and Sunway Medical Center procurement department. The second process is identify which supplier they need to contact. This is the first step in planning of procurement process. Sunway Medical Center procurement department contact suppliers through call, email and WhatsApp. Next is negotiate price and item. This step is important in order to maintain their low price and high quality vision. Then place order. Once they confirm their selected supplier, they place the order. Furthermore, they arrange delivery between supplier and department. This can ease both parties to manage the flow of delivery successfully. Moreover, they follow up delivery. Sunway Medical Center follow up with selected supplier by communicate with them about the delivery from time to time. Besides that, they receive order, which they will pass to store site first to the essential process, which is inspection of the order. Store site needs to check the order received first, whether it is correct item or not. Last but not least, proceed to process invoice to finance department. After confirmed and received item in the system, they process invoice to finance department.
Next is a recommendation. My recommendation that the company must establish an effective assessment method so they could choose the best of the vendors that could supply to their business. So next is communicating with other vendors. In terms of communicating, this will makes the bond and the relationship of the company and the vendor even stronger, and it could benefit in the future. So next is working together with all departments. It's just not the procurement department, but it involves all the other department in the company. This will ensure the survival of the company and their capability to compete with other businesses in this industry.
To sum up, in a centralized organization, as in this context, Sunway Medical Center, the procurement department would be in charge of all firm purchasing decisions. Each department in a decentralized organization will have its own procurement function. Procurement's role has developed over time, and with the introduction of new technology, it has grown more strategic. Historically, procurement was primarily concerned with cost reduction. However, with the emergence of e-procurement and spend analysis, procurement has shifted its emphasis to supplier relationship management and risk reduction. That's all from us. Thank you.